What's up? This is Dean Anthony TV. I'm here to do my spoiler review of Supergirl 2026. Supergirl 2026, directed by Craig Gillespie. It starts off, Supergirl is eating and drinking her life away, and she shows that the red sun is in the background, and she's on a red sun planet. So she's able to drink, and they play retro music. The main villain called Krem comes in and he sits at the table with Crypto the dog. Reese Reynolds appears in the Krems and the Yellow House meets Supergirl. She says she doesn't have her powers here. She said she wants to exchange and capture Krem for a sword. She fights a random creature in the yard outside, and she hits him with a spike bat, and she doesn't have her powers on that planet. That's why she used that weapon. Superman video chats and tells her she's gonna come on the train, the Red Sun planet. She's ejected from the ship, and they go in the sun and gets her powers. Go to the near the sun, and then she gets all her powers back. And then there's no match for Supergirl into Lobo. He comes in and sits and asks for a beer at the bar, and he drinks it quickly. Ruthie asks why you're here, and they have a brief conversation. Lobo says, "You guys are useless." He begins in the house. Ruthie tells about her history with Superman. She says, "What's his heart and what happened on that planet on Krypton?" Flashback scenes of Kara's back down, and she talks about her father, who is Jor-El's, which was basically Superman's father. So basically they're sister cousins. Is a laser beam shoots in the air, and then they show Krypton dying, and then the atmosphere crashes. Kara's story shows that Jor-El's brother to Superman's father. They build a metal capsule for her, and then they put her in the capsule as a teenager, sent her off Krypton before it collapses. Flash forward, she's talking to Ruthie back in the house. Krem knocks out the front door and holds Kara to the wall, and he gets her in a chokehold. She says she'll give me 1 sec, I needed that. So she counters and fell back in the junkyard. Krem brings out all these henchmen, and then Lobo comes back in on his bike, and he drives and shoots a missile at his motorcycle, hits one person, and then he said, I'll screw a lot of these dipshits around, you old man phrase. He says she fights over the henchmen and shoot them with a laser. Lobo uses his whip and chains and swinging crushes his enemies. He asks who likes to play games. Don't kill him. She said you have to drink yourself and your pain away all the time. She flies to outer space, rejuvenate, and comes back to the planet. Superman comes as the capsule opens, and then she starts to talk to him. He said, "Don't speak Kryptonian. I was not raised there." They have to fortress of solitude. You see like the ice background. Superman tells her that your powers is about to kick in right now, and then it happens. Flashback scene goes to flash forward, and Krem locks all of them up. Ruthie then finds Lobo in the cell and talks to Ruthie. "You fragile excuse piece of man." As they open the cell, Ruthie attacks the guard and fights him off, and the dude hits the wall. And then Krem holds a knife to Ruthie's throat. Supergirl is in midair, and she flies up to Krem and holds him to the wall and beat up all the guards and fight off Krem 1v1. Then they put the Krypton crystal in front of her, and then it weakens. Lobo said, "Gotcha, bastards." And then Lobo goes up to the CR on top of the edge and then breaks a wreck of one holding by a thread. Superman shoots him in the air like a rocket, and then the kryptonite crystals degenerate. Then all the cars, Mad Max styles, surround the area. Kara shoots and saves the civilians, with her laser beam, and open up the thing so they can all escape. Ruthie then holds a knife on Krem's throat while he's lying on the floor. And then the last scene shows Ruthie holding a knife on Krem's throat while he's lying on the floor. Supergirl takes a sword and then stabs in the chest and then the neck and said, "Why do you do that to that little girl?" And then she goes back to the house, and then Superman's already near the window standing there. And he said that he can always use her help. I give this movie a 5 out of 10. I think it felt more like a TV episode more than a movie. I wish they touched the comic adaptation, which is a poor idea, and I felt like the movie felt like a 2005 superhero movie. Maybe a little bit better than Morbius, but not as good as like X-Men. To me, it felt more like X-Men, but I feel like X-Men 1 actually had a better story, so maybe not.